Hi, welcome. Zvara here, creator of Core Functional Fitness, and I'm here to take you through a great practice today. Whether you're a yogi or just an avid fitness professional or a student, you're going to find that hopefully this practice today leads you closer towards a well-balanced body and further away from pain and injury. One thing we always want to remember whenever we're coming to the mat or whenever we're just moving around in general is, am I mindful of what I'm doing? Am I aware of how I'm moving on the mat? Because awareness equals better function. So as you move in practice today, I want you to pay attention to when your foot hits the mat, how your foot feels on the mat. Do you have an awareness of where your knee is, where your pelvis is, how your arms feel when they're extended overhead? All of these little moments that you bring into your practice are going to equal better movement off the mat, which is going to equal better harmony and health in your body overall. So it's not about the advanced variations. It's not about trying to get your foot behind your head or trying to do the splits or maximize your flexibility. It's about maximizing your movement and your comfort and your ability to move with ease, both on and off the mat. So when you practice today with me, I want you to have that intention in mind, and again, up the awareness in how you move and how you breathe and how you feel. Hi, welcome. Zvara here, creator of Core Functional Fitness. And I hope you're ready for a great practice today. Let's begin. Stepping to the top of the mat, draw your feet nice and wide and feel the feet anchored into the earth. Spindle your thigh bones externally so that the backs of the knees point back and your knees point forward. Now soft bend in the knees, wave your pelvis forward, open the hip flexors, extend the arms, nice little core challenge. Exhale, wave your body down, relax the head towards the floor. Try not to firm the legs straight, but rather keep them slightly bent, increasing the length in the lower back. Feel your head drape towards the floor. So spreading the toes extra wide. Again, a little bit of an external spindling on the legs. Inhale through the nose. Let's draw the arms back behind. Exhale through the nose. Now if you have tighter shoulders, grab a strap and hold on to that strap so you can pick your thumbs up off your shoulder, or up off your sacrum. Exhale, lower the arms down, bend the knees, step back with your right foot, drop the right knee to the mat, unroll the toes. Press the top of the back big toe into the floor and roll yourself up off the mat, feet hips distance. Now level and square the hips. Try not to have this huge lordotic arch in the lower back. As I work to keep neutral in my pelvis, front foot slightly more forward, draw yourself forward, keeping length and focusing on length through the hip flexor. Inhale through the nose, core is strong. Extend your right arm up as you anchor the shoulder down. Keeping the left outer thigh rolled down, extend both arms up overhead, emphasizing back body length rather than just a lift in the chest. Inhale through the nose, hug the thighs. Exhale, breathe. Stay alert and aware to where you are on your mat. Exhale, hands to prayer. Release the arms to the mat, roll the back toes under, lift the hips high enough to escape the front leg back, coming into plank. Now spread your hands extra wide, turn the folds of the elbows forward. For most of us, we're working in a closed fist in most everything that we do, so you're going to find that there's some definite tension through the palms and forearms. That does get better with time, which is just a nice reminder we need to work the hands. Keep the hip bones tipped up into the core, engage through the legs. Inhale. Exhale, knees to the earth, sit back on your heels, devotional. Walk your arms to the right, press your hips to the left, side bend. Lengthen through the side body, relax your shoulder. Inhale, coast through center, swing your hips to the right, reach to the left. Imagine trying to untuck your shirt. Breathe. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, come up through a rounded out cat pose. Curl the toes under. Bend your elbows. Inhale, cow's pose. Pull back on your hands. Exhale, lean towards your heels. Inhale. Exhale. And as you inhale, come into cow, imagine space between your sternum and your pubis bone. Pull back again on the hands. Do not lock the arms straight, especially if you have kyphosis. Exhale, round. Inhale, come into table. Step your right foot forward. Back knee is behind the hip. Roll yourself up. Level the hips so we can maximize the length through the tight hip flexor and start to work hamstring and glute on that front leg. When the hip is kicked up, we're not using the right muscles. Inhale. Exhale, press into the top of the back foot. Extend your left arm up, anchor the shoulders down. Inhale, as long as you can keep that right hip rolled down, extend both arms up, drop your shoulders, and firm through your fingertips. Breathe space. Exhale, hands to prayer. Release the hands down, lift up the knees, step forward, standing forward bend. Relax the head towards the earth. Walk your feet a little bit closer, let's say a slightly more narrow hips distance. Bend your knees and slightly lift your heels. I'm going to scooch back a little bit here so you can see me. Keep the heels sliced off the floor. I call this low heel squat. Drop your head, sit back into your hips and heels as you keep your body weight reaching forward. Feel the sit bones wiggle down and the Achilles tendon, that lower calf ankle area, and into the underarm side of the foot. Stretch as you lean back. Imagine doing this off of a ledge. Now breathe into the back cavity of the body. Deep breath in, lengthen through the legs, exhale, forward fold. Try to keep the thighs and chest as close as you can, so lengthen the legs up to that point. Drape the head, and at a strong exhalation, feel the abdomen hollow itself. Not because you're sucking in, but because gravity is draping you down and you have extra tissue to really bring in and relieve the back body. Chest expander. Check in with the legs, make sure they're not collapsing in. Ground through your feet. Exhale, release the arms down, bend your knees, come back to a tabletop position. Inhale, cow's pose. Exhale, cat, lean back. Inhale, cow. Notice how my head is coming through the little hole in the wall. And then exhale, really honoring tight shoulders. One more time. And exhale. Inhale, come back into tabletop. Step your left foot forward. Back knee is slightly behind the hip. Roll yourself up, level your hips. The tighter the hip flexors, tighter the lower back, harder neutral is going to be here. Don't jip yourself from this really potent stretch. Inhale, right arm comes up. I'm pressing through the top of my back foot. Try not to let the ankle turn or roll. Extend both arms when you're ready. Now interlace the fingers, reach through the pointer finger, broaden the back, relax the ribs down. Breathe. Exhale, hands to prayer, hands to the floor, roll your back toes under, lift the knee, take a small step up with the back foot so that the outer edge of the foot lines up with the outer edge of the mat. Feet are forward, hips distance, bend your knees, roll it up. With the hips square, exhale, bend the back knee, front leg is long, ball of the foot is anchored, thigh rolls out. Exhale, nice little hamstring, glute hip stretch. Inhale, bring yourself back up. I'm actually going to shorten my stride. This isn't a big one. This isn't a big stride. Exhale, square the hips and hinge. Back is long, core is strong. Nice stretch through the hamstring into the calf. Rise back up slow. Exhale. I'm using my hands to help guide my hips. Core is strong, bring it up. Exhale. And inhale. So a nice functional play on what some people call pyramid or standing head to knee. When my glutes are tight and my hamstrings are wonky, my hips are going to go crooked. When we lock up the legs, we limit our potential to dig into the right areas of the body. Keeping the ball of the foot grounded on that front leg. One more. Square and lengthen. Inhale. Step up. Mountain pose. Spread the toes, soft bend in the knees. Wave yourself forward. Inhale. Exhale. Wave it down. Inhale through the nose. Chest expander. Open the shoulders. Exhale, lower your arms down. Bend your knees, step back into plank. Spread your hand extra wide. Watch for any hyperextension in the elbows. Knees to the mat, sit back, exhale. Inhale, reach to the right or the left. Swing your hips off the opposite heel. So try to create some space. Lower back, QL area, obliques, lower back, lats. Inhale, come through center, opposite side. Reach and breathe. Inhale, come back to center, roll it up, step forward, opposite foot, back knee is slightly behind the hip, bring yourself off the floor, level your pelvis, and if you're really tight through the hip flexor psoas, this might be where you're staying. And that's fine, because guess what? You're finally working the right muscles. Inhale, exhale, I'm only going to bring myself deeper to the point where I can keep my pelvis from tipping. I want to stay recruiting hamstring glute on the front leg, and lengthening psoas, lower back, through the opposite side. Inhale, left arm, possibly right arm, maybe interlace. Stay broad through the upper back and lengthen internally. Hug the thighs. If you're someone that has constant lower back SI joint sacral issues, which a lot of yogis do, really focusing on neutral hips and better alignment stability is absolutely essential. You're not helping your cause. Hands to heart, hands to the floor. Roll the back toes under, take a slightly generous step up. Feet are hips distance, back foot is straight forward. Roll your body up. Now recheck the back foot. Most people, if they're not used to neutral feet, they're slightly turned out. Square the hips, lengthen the front leg, spread the toes, thigh rolls externally, but the foot doesn't pick up. So really learning better ankle and lower leg recruitment. Now back knee bends. Hips kick back as I lengthen forward. Really good stretch through the back of the front leg. Lower front core is strong. I'm going to pick myself up using my core and a little bit of glutes. Inhale, exhale, using my hands to help guide the hip of the front leg back. And then rising back up. Exhale, back knee bends, heel stays down. I'm getting some length through the calf. Keep breathing, keep working the hips. Nice long lower back. Front foot is rooted. Last one. Step up, mountain pose, spread the toes, bend the knees, extend up and back. Exhale, wave your body down. Spread the toes wide, thigh bones spindle out without overly picking up the feet or arches. Hands come behind. Remember, grab your strap. If not, grab a towel, grab whatever you have.
to help create more openness through the fronts of the shoulders. Now notice your default hand position. Usually we go to the position that gets us farthest down. I want you to play with how your hands clasp in order to maximize new space. Remember what we said about the belly. Exhale, lower the arms down, bend your knees, come to a kneeling position. Hand and palm work. Turn the fingertips towards your knees, thumbs on the outsides, and open your hands as wide as they can go. Now you can do one hand at a time. Broaden your back, keep the arms, what would feel like rotating out, away from the midline right now. Lean back slowly, only to the point where you feel like this is going to be just enough, almost too much, but not quite. Broaden through the back and breathe. How many things during the day do you do that asks you to do this? Undoing that which we do. Breathe. I call this the anti-texting stretch. Now bend your elbows and lift the heels of the hands. So trying to keep the top of the palm where the fingertips insert into the hand on the mat. Breathe. And then keep the toes rolled under, sit back onto your heels, open and close the hands, roll out the wrists, nice work. We often see the big obvious stuff, but we forget about the little things. All right, let's reverse that. Top of the hand to the floor, fold of the elbow turns forward without hyperextension. Now I'm going to do one at a time because I'm going to use my opposite hand sliced up tight against the wrist, pressure, and then I'm going to lean back just for a little bit more work here. Breathe. And then open and close the hand, roll out the wrists. Ideally, try to do these more than just right now, once a day. Every little bit helps. I'm going to focus on that arm rotation because part of our wrist issues and palm issues stem from where our arm inserts, and that's the shoulder. And if you have a weak core or a not very stable torso, your shoulder girdle doesn't have anything very sturdy to sit on. So if you have shoulder issues, it may not totally be your shoulder's fault. And then again, open and close the hand, roll out the wrists. Nice work. Swing the legs around. Hands under the thighs, roll yourself back, knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Lower the feet to the floor, arms come overhead. Nice little arc in the small of the back. Now arms swipe to T, open the feet wider than your yoga mat so you have ample space. Drop the knees to what would be your right, my left. And then use one hand, pick up the head. Inward falling knee should be right beneath that hip socket. Now as I draw the knee down, I'm going to exaggerate the lift of that side of my hip and waist. Lift the head and fully rotate the opposite direction. Now if you're feeling tension in your knee, it's really the tension in the hip streaming to the knee. So try not to force or press. That if the knee really hangs up quite a bit higher than the hip, that really is going to tell you something about your hip. So use your body wisely. And then inhale back to center. If you're still kind of cultivating that awareness and you're not quite sure if the knee is under the hip, take a peek. Opposite knee drops out. It is quite normal to have a tighter hip. I definitely do. Full rotation with the head and neck. Relax your shoulders and breathe. So I'm focusing on relaxing and arcing from my hip to my under ribcage area as the knee moves towards the floor with gravity. Welcome your breath into your body. And then back to center. Bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Drop the feet to the floor. Inhale, extend your arms overhead, palms up. Feet are hips distance and not tucked under the sit bones. Especially if you have tight hip flexors, there's not enough room and there's too much tension for you to come up into bridge pose effectively. Heels are away from the sit bones, unsupported bridge. Neutral pelvis, exhale, lift up, chin to the chest. So try not to let the knees splay out, usually a sign that quads and hip flexors are definitely a little tight. But think about keeping the legs parallel and neutral pelvis. So your pubis bone is angling up. Inhale through the nose, press into your big toes. Exhale through the nose, breathe wide into your ribs. Inhale high to the feet. Exhale, roll the spine down, knees into the chest. Use the strength of your torso and core, no neck strain. Curl up nose to knees. Inhale, head to floor. Extend one leg out at a time. Toes towards the sky. Exhale, internal rotation. Toes and knees towards the midline. Hold it. And then inhale, external rotation. Pinky toes to the floor. Arms at your sides or away from the body. Roll your shoulders down. Deep breath in. Deep breath out through the mouth. Soften your body into the earth. Slowly start to move your fingers and toes. Draw your knees into your chest. Again, using the strength of your deep core. Curl up. Releasing the head down. Roll the legs to the side. Use your top hand not to strain. Rolling yourself up slowly. Great work today. Every little bit counts. And it's not so much what you do, but how you do what you do. For more information, visit my website at hopefulcorefitness.com, and I can't wait to practice with you again soon. From my heart to yours, from my soul to yours, have a great day. Namaste.